You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 21st day of May, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. We do 2 every trading day. The first one is private, members only, and those who are taking our 1-week free trial. If you have not taken our 1-week free trial, you can do so by going to mytradingiq.com, and at the very top of the page, there's a link that says 5-day free trial. No credit card required. Click the link, fill out the registration form. It'll only take a minute, but make sure you fill it out properly. It's an automated process, so if you don't fill it out properly, we don't get it. You don't get a trial. Nobody wins. If you fill it out properly, we get it, you get a trial, and everybody wins. So take a minute, double check it, hit submit, and in most cases, most days, same day, we'll get your desktop set up, get your indicators indicating, and then your trial will begin the following day. Now, you get 5 consecutive trading days, even if it stretches over a weekend. So don't worry about what day of the week or weekend or hour of the day you sign up for the trial. You'll still get 5 consecutive trading days. Now, when you take the trial, you're not just getting a trial of what happens in the live training room, but you also have access to all the other resources that our passport holders have access to. Everything. In fact, we treat you just like you were a passport holder for 5 consecutive days. The only exception is the Thursday night members only workshop. That remains members only, but everything else you have access to. A live training room, one-on-one mentoring, everything. Plus the logic alerts, the concierge trade alerts, weekly zones, everything. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break, and then we come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, this broadcast is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Now, there's a couple different ways you can join the afternoon broadcast live. Best way, you only have to do this once. Just go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click the link. There you'll get about a 30-second registration form. And you're done. Going forward, what will happen every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In that email, there's a link. At 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it will automatically log you into our platform. Now, the benefit is that you'll have access to the question box so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there'll be days when you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. You can. And there'll be days when you're busy and you can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do that too. Of course, I'm talking about our YouTube channel. It's easy to remember, youtube.com/CFRN. You already have the YouTube part memorized, so really, you just need to remember CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,500 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. youtube.com/CFRN. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. And just pick some days at random. Watch a little bit, fast forward a little bit, watch a little bit, grab another day. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast. Again, youtube.com/CFRN. Let's open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer, as we do each and every day. Our current topic is really a study of the book of James. Faith works. Today's scripture is James 3, verses 1 through 12, and I'm going to share with you from the Message translation. Don't be in any rush to become a teacher, my friends. Teaching is highly responsible work. Teachers are held to the strictest standards, and none of us is perfectly qualified. We get it wrong nearly every time we open our mouths. If you could find someone whose speech was perfectly true, you'd have a perfect person in perfect control of life. A bit in the mouth of a horse controls the whole horse. A small rudder on a huge ship in the hands of a skilled captain sets a course in the face of the strongest winds. A word out of your mouth may seem of no account, but it can accomplish nearly anything or destroy it. It only takes a spark, remember, to set off a forest fire. Careless or wrongly placed word out of your mouth can do that. By our speech, we can ruin the world, turn harmony to chaos, throw mud on our reputation, send the whole world up in smoke, and go up in smoke with it. Smoke right from the pit of hell. This is scary. You can tame a tiger, but you can't tame a tongue. It's never been done. The tongue runs wild, a wanton killer. With our tongues, we bless God our Father. With the same tongues, we curse the very men and women He made in His image. Cursings and blessings out of the same mouth. My friends, this can't go on. Spring doesn't gush fresh water one day and brackish the next. does it? Apple trees don't bear strawberries, do they? Raspberry bushes don't bear apples, do they? You're not going to dip into a polluted mud hole and get a cup of clear, cool water, are you? Again, that was James 3, verses 1 through 12 from the Message translation. Many people misunderstand the biblical concept of cursing. When the Bible condemns cursing, it's not addressing profanity. So-called bad words may be offensive and inappropriate, but a type of crude language goes beyond rude. Ephesians 5:4 says, "Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place, but instead let there be thanksgiving." While crudeness may not appear on the surface to be as hateful as cursing, the root is similar. The filthiness and crude joking Paul referred to are derogatory, sexually explicit comments that disrespect other people made in the image of God. The key to understanding what Scripture condemns as cursing is clearly stated in James 3:9. Cursing is a verbal attack, hatred, a violence of heart toward people who bear the image of our Creator. It's a deification of ourselves and a dehumanization of someone else, elevating ourselves to a judge by damning another person. The sin isn't a rude word, but hatred for another human being created in the likeness of God. Ultimately, it's contempt for God. Likewise, crude and filthy speech, even in the form of jokes, dehumanizes and objectifies other men and women, viewing them as commodities to be used, consumed, and discarded. Cursing and crudeness deny God's likeness in human beings. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you, mindful of the teachings in James 3. Help us to control our tongues, knowing that our words have great power. Guide us to speak with wisdom, kindness, and love, reflecting your grace in all that we say. Lord, guard our hearts and minds so that our speech may bring healing and encouragement, not harm. May our words be a source of blessing to others and glorify your holy name. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen. And happy Tuesday. All right, let's jump into the markets. And then about 12:45, Michael will join us, give us a recap of what happened in the live training room this morning. Then we'll go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes, do some live trading. And then we'll wrap things up with our good word for the day. So let's start with the cash markets, or the indices as they're called here. In the U.S., the Dow is up a whopping 19 points. NASDAQ is up 13. S&P 500 up 4. Russell 2000 down 7. Now, as far as movers and shakers, there aren't any, but the one making the most profound statement is actually the Russell. That's 1/3 of 1%. The fact that it's down 7 points. The others aren't even in point double digits. So the flat sideways trade continues. In the commodity basket, crude oil, on the other hand, is down $1.11, trading 78.69 last. That's a drop of almost 1.5%. Gold down $13.50, trading 24.25 last. Silver down 54 cents, trading 31.88 last. That's a drop of over 1.5%, and a drop of over $2,500 per contract traded. Silver's had some really strong days back to back, so to see a day we have a retracement, that would be expected. Possibly even a couple days of some sideways consolidation. And speaking of gold, gold bars are selling like hotcakes in Korea's convenience stores and vending machines. Now, they started selling gold in Germany over a decade ago in vending machines. I don't think they sell like hotcakes, but in Korea, that's what they say. Did you ever wonder where that phrase came from? Selling like hotcakes? Well, David Letterman, he wondered where that came from. And so one night, he sent his guy out on the street to sell hotcakes. And guess what? Nobody wanted to buy any hotcakes. So anyway, back on track. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei dropped 122 points. Shanghai dropped 13. The Hang Seng fell 415. That's over 2%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 8 points. The DAX down 42 points. CAC down 54. No movers or shakers there. So that gave us a red day in Asia, red day in the UK, and it's a mixed Radio Tuesday here in the US of A, but with the three major indices that are in the green, I mean, they're just barely in the green. And the Russell 2000, which is the one in the red, it's not deeply in the red, but it's deeper in the red than the other three are in the green. So again, what do we got? Flat and sideways. The struggle continues. Now, on the news front, Palo Alto Networks fell 3.5% the day after a largely in line fourth quarter billings forecast indicated the near-term impact of the cybersecurity firm's attempts to consolidate its services under a single platform. The company's betting on its platformization strategy to drive growth. However, that drove an increase in bookings with payments deferred over the term of the purchase instead of upfront, as clients grappled with higher borrowing costs, a trend Palo Alto expects will continue. Clearly, investors had been hopeful for more as the stock price crept up since early April in anticipation of earnings. Palo Alto shares had gained about 11% this month through Monday's close. So, Palo Alto today down $8.75 to almost 3%. Still trading at $315, but it's a pretty heavy whack. Now, this should come as no surprise. U.S. households continued to feel pinched by inflation in late 2023. Even as price pressures ebbed, Federal Reserve reported on Tuesday, with most Americans saying their financial situation had changed little in the last year, while parents reported times had gotten harder. About 72% of adults surveyed were doing at least okay financially as of October 2023. That was the Fed's annual survey on household economics and decision making. That was down from 78% in 2021 and the lowest rate since 2016. Inflation remains a top financial concern. 65% of adults said high prices had made their situations worse, even though consumer inflation has fallen from June of 2022 to below 4%. And let's all get this straight. Inflation hit 9% in June of 2022. Now, there's a fella out there who holds these little speeches, and he likes to talk about how he inherited a 9% inflation rate. He inherited a 1.7% inflation rate, and he ran it up to 9%. Now, that's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I'm not just pulling numbers out of thin air. Those are the facts. So, Pinocchio, you better be careful. The American people aren't as stupid as some might think. Some of us can actually use a computer and can look up these things. So, be careful what you say in public. Now, the eyes of the world on NVDA today. Amazon's Cloud Services Unit has paused orders of NVIDIA's most advanced superchip to wait for a more powerful new model. That comes from the Financial Times today. The new model, called Blackwell, the chip sector heavyweight's new flagship AI processor, is expected to ship later this year. Amazon Web Services, the world's largest cloud services firm, had fully transitioned its previous orders for NVIDIA's Grace Hopper chip, according to the report. Did you know that most of the government traffic, CIA traffic, all of that stuff is hosted on Amazon Web Servers? Or did you just think that some guy started an online electronic bookstore and hit the lottery and became wildly successful selling stuff on the internet? I'll leave that up to you. The answer is a little bit scary, at least my understanding. U.S. stocks steady today or sideways. That's the new, you'll hear that a lot, steady, which for traders, it means sideways and consolidated, sideways and struggling. But the new word is steady. As investors await anticipated results from NVIDIA, set for release after the bell on Wednesday. So, could there be a worse day for Amazon to announce that they're going to stop ordering chips till Amazon comes out with a better chip, with Amazon earnings or with NVIDIA's earnings due out tomorrow. Huh. Wonder who ticked who off to orchestrate that calamity. I don't know, but that's the deal. Logic 247 hasn't changed really since yesterday, because I didn't put anything out last night. I did put a few things out this morning, probably out of boredom more than anything else, I guess. This is where we were yesterday, and I put out a number of alerts this morning. Valerie will do an updated recap this afternoon. So at the moment, we're still hanging on to our one alert and 100%. Nothing stopped out so far for the week. Now, long before we had Logic 247, 303 weeks ago, or 16,700 alerts ago, we had our original alert service, the concierge trade alerts. Now they're different in a couple different ways. Logic alerts give you an entry price, an initial target, then additional targets, and a final trade to target. That's designed to help you learn how to read a chart. Most people, when they decide to become a trader, they look at a chart and have no idea what they're looking at. What does it all mean, Mr. Wizard? The logic alerts, if you do as I've explained in the past, every logic alert that comes out, if you just simply draw a horizontal line at the entry price, horizontal line at the initial target, horizontal line at the additional targets, you'll start to see by looking left where obstacles are to the trade. You can call them obstacles, you can call them targets. And then, of course, the final trade to target on a long is always the weekly zone above, and on a short, it's the weekly zone below. The purpose of the alerts is that to help you become self-sufficient. As long as you're depending on someone else to tell you when to get in and when to get out, you're never going to trade for a living. That's a fact. You've got to learn to read the chart yourself. When this report is published, now that logic alerts can come out around the clock, 24/7. We have traders around the globe, futures trade around the clock. The CTAs are just published as a static report shortly after the Globex open. And this is where you start using everything you learned with the logic alerts to now start finding those additional targets and entry points yourself. The first thing you do when the CTA report comes out is make a note where price is at the time the report comes out on whatever market you trade. It will always be between these two numbers. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target, a line in the sand at the short target. Those will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price falls below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. BBC is simply the green line you see on my charts. 30-minute chart, daily chart, any chart you ever see me put up, there'll always be a green line, and that will always be the BBC. Stands for bull, bear, cross. When price crosses above it, we're bullish and anticipate higher prices relative to that time frame. And when price crosses below it, we're bearish and anticipate lower prices relative to whatever time frame you're looking at. The purpose of the alerts, logic, and CTAs, the time frame is always 30 minutes. With the CTAs, this is where you get your chance to look left and spot potential obstacles. Previous swing highs and swing lows that become current resistance support. With the logic alerts, they're given to you. With the CTAs, that's your next step. You're learning to find them yourself. And you're learning how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open, Sunday night, until they close Friday afternoon. Price is above the 30-minute BBC. It's trying to reach the weekly zone above. Price is below the 30-minute BBC. It's trying to reach the zone below. It's pretty simple. We've published the zones every Monday for our members since December 14th of 2009. Almost 15 years. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published Monday morning, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They do not change in any way whatsoever. You simply have to resist the urge to make it more complicated. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. That's when the wind is blowing. And a quick look at the daily chart will let you know if the wind is even blowing. And I dare say it's not blowing. Got an inside day. That means we haven't taken out yesterday's high or yesterday's low. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of sideways consolidation. Tuesday, yesterday, Monday, Friday, Thursday. Now see Wednesday, a nice little move up. And then this. Now, the step line, the black line, has gotten on the right side of blue and climbing. So if today, and price is just, the candle's so tiny you can barely see it. It's between blue and climbing and the step line. If we close today below the step line, then the highest probability is that we're headed back to the daily BBC at 52.36. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. It's called the BBC, bull bear cross. Bullish above it, bearish below it. Now, I recommend that whatever you trade, may not be the S&P, it might be a different futures market, might be individual stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, whatever. If you'll spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you drop to the smaller time frames where you're going to actually execute your trades, you'll change your trading forever. Now, it's no silver bullet. It's not a holy grail. But the people who move price, the institutional traders, because of their account size and the size they trade in, when you go to the daily chart, you're looking over their shoulder. They look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. So, how could you resist looking over their shoulder to see what they're doing? Because all you have to do is what they're doing long enough to get your goal for the day and then put the mouse away. Except on days like this, when even they aren't sure what to do. And if they, with all their infinite resources, aren't sure what to do, are you? So, can't glean a whole lot from this, but we do know that we've got double top up here. Almost looks like a triple top, but not quite. They're at 53.49, and then yesterday 53.48 and a quarter. Yesterday we came within 3 ticks of putting in an exact double top. Step line has crossed, so we'll see. The next logical move is not a breakout to the upside, but a pullback to the BBC. That doesn't mean price can't break out to the upside. It certainly can. You have to embrace all possibilities. The logical move is back here. Then, of course, the question will become, does the pullback hold? As you can see, it holds more often than it doesn't, right? But eventually it trades through. Did it back on November 2nd. It did it on April 4th. But there's a lot of territory to cover from 53.27 down to 52.36. About 90 points, roughly. All right, 30-minute chart. This is where all the alerts are created. Vertical line separates today, Tuesday. Here's Monday, Friday. These are this week's zones, so they don't apply to Friday. They apply to yesterday, today. When price rallies up to a weekly zone, we expect it to consolidate. We actually expect resistance until proven otherwise. 70% of the time we get consolidation. So we got the resistance, we pull back to the VBC, the pullback held. So we got another little bump that put in a slightly higher high for the session. And then we dropped. This low here. And then the 9:30 opening candle took us all the way up to the zone at 53.45/46. Resistance will always send the market looking for support, which it found at the zone 53.25/26. So we opened last night, 10 minutes into the life of this candle. The CTAs came out. Price pulled up to the BBC, pullback held, dropped us to blue and climbing, which is bullish. And so that took us right back up to the zone resistance, sent us back down to these lows here, which sent us back to resistance. And then at 8 this morning, we began the move down to zone and the short target, 53.23/24. Plenty of room to get your goal for the day on the way down. Then support will send the market looking for resistance, which it found here. It overshot this spot right here by just a little bit. It's now pulled back to the BBC, and it's trapped between resistance at the zone and the step line and the BBC in blue and climbing below. So if it breaks through blue and climbing, and you've got a trade from about 53.28 down to 53.26, zone is 25/26. Very narrow this week. When that happens, then this is the kind of movement we expect. Flat and sideways. Did I say flat and sideways? The Dow hasn't even been able to reach the short target, the long target, the zone above, or the zone below. This is a market looking for direction. And we don't have a lot of news this week. We got Fed minutes Wednesday afternoon. And we got some of the lesser Feds speaking this week. I don't know if Jerome's going to speak anywhere. So on the Russell, the market opened last night, right here. And we ran right up to the zone resistance. Dropped resistance and just looking for support. Where do we find support? BBC, blue and climbing. Support sent us back to resistance. Remember, when price moves up to a zone, we expect resistance. When price drops to a zone, we expect support. And that's what we got right here. Support will send the market looking for resistance, which we found at the BBC. Now, this pull up has held. We've spiked it, but every one of these candles is still touching the BBC. So, until we have a candle open and close above the BBC, then the pullback's holding. If we close below this candle right here, then 2102 down to 2100. That would be 2 points. That would be good for your goal for the day. And then 2097 down to 2095. That would be another 2 points. 2 points is all you need to get your goal for the day on the Russell. On the NQ, it opened above the BBC. We just consolidated sideways. And then we made a drop right down to the short target where the bullish cross happened yesterday. Support, send the market looking for resistance. We traded through the BBC this time. Pull back holds more often than not, but eventually it will trade through. So we got a leg, a retracement, pull back held, and we got another leg. If we can take out this swing high and that swing high, got just enough room, almost. Well, yeah, you got enough room because it only takes 5 points in the NQ to get your goal for the day. Just isn't a lot of room. So you got to deal with the hand that's dealt you. Here's where we opened last night, right at the weekly zone. And then we dropped below the BBC. Blue and climbing turned to red and falling. And we dropped right down to the target. Then we continued down to the zone. Once we hit the zone, support bounced us back up to the BBC resistance. Sent us back down. See the pullback held there, and then we got below the zone, and it took us all the way to the zone below, 77.70. Support sends us looking for resistance. So we took out this swing high by just a little bit, and we never trust just a little bit. We always want to make price prove itself. And it failed to prove itself, and now we're back below the BBC. Now this low is this low. Previous support, holding as support again. Support sending the market looking for resistance. You got resistance times 3. You got the BBC, you got the step line, and you got the zone. 3 reasons for the market to find resistance right here, and then potentially give us another leg to the downside. On gold, here's where we open, pulled up to the zone, found resistance, we spiked it, closed, we're still touching it, we're right inside of it. The zone's 2434/35. And that sent us all the way down to the target, to the zone. Spiked it a little bit. The zone's 2411/12. So support was in the market looking for resistance, which it initially found at the BBC. Once it got above the BBC, then it found resistance at the zone. So it went from zone, back to the zone. Yesterday, high of the day was right at the zone. The low of the day was right at the zone. Silver. Here's where we opened last night. Ran up to the target and tagged yesterday's high. Resistance. Resistance will always in the market looking for support. Now the zone down here is 3120/21. Remember, it only takes 2 pennies in silver to get your goal for the day. This low right here took out this low by like a penny. It spiked it and then ran the other way to the zone, which became resistance for a couple of hours. Now we've dropped back to the BBC, and so far the pullback is held. All these candles are touching the BBC. Got resistance here, potential resistance here, and obviously resistance here. And on this spike, we came within a penny of touching the target. And last but not least, on the euro, this is where we opened. We dropped to the short target, support. Now we're looking for resistance, which we found at the long target, where we had the bearish cross yesterday. And then price dropped all the way down to the short target and the zone. Support sent the market looking for resistance, which it found at the BBC. Remember, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. But eventually it will trade through like it did right there. That brings us back to the daily chart, where we still have an inside day and we're just grinding sideways. And the next major news is Wednesday afternoon. Fed minutes. Tomorrow afternoon. Okay, Michael's here. He's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. We'll go live on TradingView for 30 minutes, and then I'll wrap things up with our good word for the day.
All right, here we go.
All right,
Okay.
it looks good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of May, 2024. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you would like to take a free trial with us, then just go here to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button right here. Okay. When you click on that purple button, you will be sent to this registration page, right? On the registration page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. Down at the bottom, it gives you TradingView machine ID if you have one, TradingView login ID. I'm sorry, NinjaTrader machine ID if you have one, and TradingView login ID if you have one of those. Give us that information, and we'll be able to set your indicators up for you. You should do that at the beginning of your trial, okay? You want to get that done at the beginning of your trial so that you'll have indicators indicating while you're learning. The recaps. Another really quiet, flat day today, guys. We did play some trades today. We had, well, almost twice as many as yesterday. Still a single digit, though. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 21st day of May, 2024. Today we made 30 ticks on the NQ, 0 ticks on the Russell, 15 ticks on the YM, and 0 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus 225 in the morning session. Today it took 8 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. That point we're up $1,700. I'm sorry, with 17 contracts. We're up $1,700. And we took a total of 9 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're up $4,932 over 15 trading days, averaging $328 per contract per 2-hour trading day. On the year now, we're $38,667 over 96 business days, averaging $402 per contract per 2-hour trading day. Now, this is where you want to be, consistently profitable, right in here. If you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and add 1 contract per month, that's the 24/20 blueprint. Over 24 months, building in learning time and downtime and all the other time, over 24 months, you should be able to work your way up to 20 contracts. We started doing that last year, January of 2023, and it's now been 17 months since then. And we are on our 17th contract, adding 1 contract per month. If you were to do that and quit trading when you get your goal for the day, so far this year, you would have worked 34.46 hours and averaged $5,935 per hour. Just on this year alone, $5,935 per hour. We started out with 13 contracts in January, added 1 per month, $5,935 an hour. Now, if you did it with 1 contract, starting out with 1 contract in January, I did your 24/20 blueprint starting in January of this year, you're at $1,147 an hour, which is still a great number. Okay, if you can get to $1,147 an hour, that is a fantastic number to be able to make, and only have to work 34.5 hours a year so far. That'd be about 70 hours if you double it for the whole year. All right. Anyway, that's how you get the trial and all that. Now we'll get into what we did. Now we looked at something today. One of our guys, Jack, had asked to look at silver. Dwayne does silver all the time, and he actually does trading zones on the silver as well. And Jack was asking me about what time frame to use and how big of a stop to use and all that. And he was saying on the 7-tick range on silver. And silver is $50 a tick. On the full size silver is $50 a tick. And so, you're using a 10-tick stop. The same thing you would always use with a 7-tick range, but using a 10-tick stop. And I guess I can get into all this in a few minutes, but no matter what you're using, if you're using a range bar, it's 10-tick stop for a 7 range for me anyway. And that the actual percentage of stop goes down with the bigger bar, but the smaller bar, you need for it to have some sort of room to wiggle with a smaller range bar like this, you gotta have about a 50% of the bar stop. So a 7 range bar or 10-tick stop, 150%. If you had a 100 range bar, we looked at that. Your stop might only have to be 105 ticks. It's not the same. But we'll get into all that in a few minutes. Let me just get into the recap of what I did and didn't do first. All right. We'll start out with the YM. We'll start out with the YM. I'm thinking, because I have the silver on here, I'm just going to skip the Russell. We only had 1 trade on the Russell, and it was a break-even trade. But on the YM, we just had a couple of trades. We had 1 right there for plus 10 ticks and 1 right there for plus 5 ticks. That is all we did with the YM. So the markets were pretty flat. I had one of the fellas today, Casey. He's not in here right now, but he had asked me, why we're not getting more trades. I was like, look at the markets, man. The markets are so flat. But anyway, on the YM, we had 1 trade there during the break. Nice blue arrow trade there during the break. That worked out really well. All right. Now I'm going to skip the Russell. We only had 1 break-even trade during the Russell. There wasn't much going on there today. The ES, again, you can see almost all of yesterday and today right here on the ES. This is all of yesterday and today right here. Well, actually, I got to crunch up a little more. There you go. That's all of yesterday and today on the ES. So on the ES, we did place 1 trade today. I don't even know where I did it. This is the ES7 range. We did place 1 trade today on the ES. I don't remember where it was. It was probably right here. I think it was right here. I was looking for it to get up to 32 was swing high. Yeah. So we did place 1 trade on the ES. It was a break-even trade right there. And that was all that we did on the ES today. And on the NQ, that's where we had the majority of our trades. And we did get our goal for the day on the NQ early on. We almost got it on our very first trade right here. All right. if I would have let it go to 20 ticks, we would have picked up 20, but I stopped it at 16. I picked up the other 4 ticks right here, just to 20. That's where we got the goal for the day. Then we had a break even there, and another break even there. And I stopped out there, gave all 20 ticks back. And that brought us back down to 0. And then I got one 30 tick trade right here. It brought me back up to 30. And that was all that we did. We got into the lesson plan. And again, I ran the lesson plan. My timing's been off lately with the lesson plans. It seems like I've been starting them a little late and running them way too long. But anyway, if I get on a roll and I don't know, I feel like I'm giving good education, then I tend to ramble. You guys can always stop me, Just say, hey, you're rambling. Anyway, I'm probably rambling right now. During the break, we had one blue arrow right there, just one blue arrow. We had some purple arrows in there. I'll get into the purple arrows tomorrow, the part of the lesson plan for tomorrow. Okay. All right. So that was it. That was my whole recap. It was just like yesterday. Not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot to trade. But still, it's well, it is what it is. If you've not, I'm gonna hang on, let me get the live stream going here on YouTube. YouTube.com. Here we go. Okay, YouTube.com. Here we are. Here's a picture of my charts, and I just wanted to open that up so I can see any questions that come in over there. All right. So if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. There is no credit card required for the free trial. None for the free trial. So click on the purple button. It's going to bring you to this registration page. Fill out this simple little form, and you'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. All right, down here at the bottom, you have an opportunity to give us your NinjaTrader machine ID or your TradingView login ID, or both, if you have both. It would be good if you gave us one or both of those things so we can set up your trial for you, set up your indicators for you at the beginning of your trial. All right. One of the fellas last night had asked me, he had downloaded NinjaTrader, and if you have Ninja, just go to trading platforms here and scroll down to right here. All right. Now I had to do this on this computer. I had to do this recently because I had Ninja on here, but this is a new computer and I did not have the correct machine ID in it. So I haven't even, since I did that, I haven't even looked at it. I'm pretty sure I have NinjaTrader running properly on this machine. I'll check it right now, see if it loads up. But you have to go here and hit download. All right. When you hit download, you have to import that file. It's a zip file, this TIQNT8 zip file. And that zip file was created a couple of years ago. So the workspace that comes up with it is gonna have a bunch of out-of-date stuff on it. The indicators are still fine, but the actual data that's in there is gonna be for something that was a couple of years ago. It'd be like the ES from 2022, the ES from June of 2022 or something like that. So that's not going to be very useful to you, but it's going to prompt you as you open it. It will prompt you to update your data. Okay, and so now it is all loading up for me with new data because I just logged in. And hopefully, when I go to indicators right now, I just went to indicators right now, and there it is. I can go to indicators right now and see all my indicators in there. All right, those are the indicators that we need for NinjaTrader. And that's all you have to do. Once you do that, it's going to load the stuff up. One thing it's not going to do is Hal in here right now. He's not. But one thing it's it's not gonna. It'll load up one DOM, I think, like this one. It'll just load up one DOM, and it's not going to load it up with any preset stops and stuff like that, stop strategies. So you have to do that yourself. Now, creating a stop strategy in NinjaTrader is really easy. I guess I'll go over this anyway. Creating a stop strategy in NinjaTrader is really easy. All you have to do is go down here to ATM strategy where it says none. Click on that and do custom. And then in here, depending what you want to do, I guess we'll just do it right here. The order quantity, number of contracts you want to place, parameter type, if you want to do it in ticks, price, percentage, pips. I do it in ticks. The stop loss, because I use range bars, I know how big my stop loss is going to be all the time. If I want to put a 10 by 30 profit target bracket on there, that's what I would do. Okay, if I want to do a 10 by 40, I just make that 40. So I have a 10 tick stop and a 40 tick profit target. Stop strategy, right in here, we've already chosen this. Down here and more, this is where you, if you want to have it trail your stop automatically, if you want to have it trail your stop to break even, if it touches some number, reverse at the stop. You know, if it's going to stop you out, just flip directions with your trade. There's all kinds of things you can do down here. We're not going to do any of that. You can read directions for that stuff, but you click save as template, and right here I'll do 10 by 40. Okay, I'll say 10 by 40 and save. And I'll say okay. And down here now I can choose that 10 by 40. By default, when you load up a DOM, it's going to have nothing down there. Okay, but if I choose that 10 by 40 strategy, 10 by 40, and I actually buy something like this, it's got my 10 tick stop down there and my 40 tick profit target way up there. Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you create the stop strategy and you put it on. Now, I wanted to point out something else that we have. You know, if you are a NinjaTrader user, you know the charting that we do isn't really on NinjaTrader, it's on TradingView. We have charts available on NinjaTrader, but we do most of our charting on TradingView. But I know a lot of you guys are out there using NinjaTrader to trade with, and I mean, you're just hardcore ninja guys. There's a whole bunch of ninja guys out there. If you're in love with Ninja and you've been trading with Ninja and that's your comfort zone, that's fine. If you want to trade on Ninja charts, that's also fine. You can take the trades from these charts and just place them over here because that's what you're used to doing, and move them around on your chart like you would normally do because that's what you're used to doing. You know, you don't have to change any of that. Just take your trades from the TradingView charts and put them on your Ninja charts. You don't have to actually have the indicators on your charts over here because you're not using the indicators on your charts, right? All you have to have is the trade. And I mean, you can do that just by, what is it, this thing right here, right? You can do chart trader. Put your chart trader on like that. And we say buy market, we put it on and it's on there. Now, I didn't have any stop strategy on that, obviously, so it doesn't have a stop strategy, but I mean, now it's on there. And if I did have a stop strategy, I'd be able to manage it, right? Let's just close it. And I'll put that same stop strategy that I just created on there, the 10 by 40. And now I'll just buy at the market and I'll say yes. See, now my stop is way down here. My target is way up there. So if I were taking trades from the TradingView charts, that's fine. I can manage them over here. It's just like managing a DOM. You know, you're grabbing it and moving it around just like you would on a DOM. You know, if a DOM moves around too fast, and the NinjaTrader DOM does, manage it on the chart. It's probably a lot easier on the chart than it is on the DOM for NinjaTrader. That would be my suggestion to you. If you're a chart trader on NinjaTrader and you want to use our stuff from TradingView charts, that would be my suggestion. Be a chart trader on NinjaTrader. You don't have to have our indicators on the charts. You just have to have your trades on the charts. Okay. I know some of you guys are diehard Ninja fans and you don't want to leave Ninja, and that's fine. You don't have to for actually placing your trades. Now, let me just go one step further here and bring up, I don't know what put me down this road here, but it did. So we're just going to keep going. The wheels are on. I'm going to go with this. So this is what the DOM looks like. Okay, and this isn't jumping around too bad because the markets are really, really slow. But when the markets are really, really fast, this jumps around like crazy. And it's hard to manage on the DOM. It may be better or easier to manage over here on the chart. I don't know. You NinjaTrader guys will know that. But it's just a suggestion for those of you guys, because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that use NinjaTrader that do not like the way that the Super DOM works. You know, if you had the option to go back to NinjaTrader 7, where it did not have the super dynamic DOM, and it was much more like my DOMs, you know, like these DOMs right here. It was much more like this. I know you would. There are people that actually do pay to have that, but they don't get the support because Ninja doesn't provide support for it anymore because it's so old. But Ninja doesn't provide support for the Ninja 7. The Ninja 7 DOM is outdated, is their line. At least that's what I'm told. But anyway, just want to suggest that you could manage your trades over here on the Ninja chart probably easier than you could on the Ninja DOM. You know, I can see everything right here. I can't see everything on the DOM. And when you hover over it on the DOM, it stops moving. Right? I can't scroll up and see where my stop is there, my target. And I can't scroll down and see where my stop is here for some reason. So just throwing that out there. One other thing, since I'm on this little Ninja Trader rant, we have this other thing that you can do if you have a strategy. You know, we work with range bars, and we have this strategy called button panel that David Z, one of our guys, created. Props to David, wherever he is. He's not out there right now. But if you're a Ninja guy, you can put the strategy on here, and up here, choose your stop. Like if you want to have the same 10 by 40 stop. And then in here, if you're on a range bar, it's got to be, your offset tick has to be one more than the range bar. Okay, and what this will do is keep track of where your order should be based upon the range bar. Now, if you want to buy on an up close, it keeps track of how big that thing is. And so all you have to do is say you want to buy on an up close. And so now it put that thing, it's a 6 tick range, so it put it 7 ticks away from the current market price. And if it should go down, if it needs to move, if that order needs to move, it'll do it automatically. See, it's at 77.25 right now, and this bar has 75.50 up to 76.50. It's got 4 ticks in it, so it's got 2 more ticks that it can go in either direction here. And if it does happen to go 2 more ticks in either direction, then there's 1 more out of it. There's another one, so it's just going to go long. Okay, it's going to trigger you in on the upside here probably. And there it is. So it triggered you in, and it put the stop on. So you got to pick your stop strategy and put that on. And it keeps track of where the top of the bar is at the bottom of the bar, all that business for you. So you don't have to move your order around every time like I have to do in the room in the morning. Okay. All right. Just wanted to point that out. That join, and we'll make that available to you. It's a pretty cool thing. It's a really cool thing, actually. You know, for Ninja traders, that is an awesome thing to have. And then again, you can just manage your trade right here on the chart if that's what you want to do. You know, I don't use Ninja Trader to trade with, so you know, my opinion is my opinion. But these are some pretty cool things that you can do with Ninja to ease the stress that is brought upon by this DOM. Okay, I just wanted to point that out for all you Ninja Trader people out there. It doesn't have to be as bad as this DOM can make it. All right, that's it. I am gonna close out of this, and we'll see what we've got going on. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll place some trades here on this Ninja, on the Ninja charts, based upon. Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't. This isn't real-time data. It's not my Ninja account. It's not my real account. I wonder if I could hook this up to. No, I can't. Anyway, I just want to point that out for everybody who is a Ninja trader who may be struggling with that stuff. Okay. All right. So now on the NQ here, guys, it looks like we just about have a trade setting up here on the NB. We're testing the ribbon when needed down close. The ribbon is still green from the lesson plan today. I was going over how the BBC is the source of all good things for us. And here is the trade as you would have it right now based upon the information that we have on the chart. We're going to sell 4 points above the top of the bar, 4 points below the top of the bar, 4 points below the top of the bar, which is right down here, 40.75. Okay, so right down there at 40.75. Okay. All right. So this is now up here at 45.50. So you'd now be selling 41.50. 4 points from the top of the bar. All right. 4 points from the top of the bar. Let us see here. Kevin, is Kevin in here? Kevin is not in here. It's 45.50. 4 points from the top of the bar. If you get a down close, it'll probably be a blue arrow, a green arrow. I can't tell if that's actually hit the ribbon right there. I hit the black line. It looks like it did hit the black line. So it'd be a green arrow if it pulls out of it. Oh, it's not even a valid trade then. Hang on, let me go back there. It's not even a valid trade. I gotta find my down. I just realized it wasn't coming out of the overbought. Okay, it's not even a valid trade. I screwed that one up. Oh, I'm gonna get out of it when I can here. Actually, it's gonna give us a blue arrow on a down close of this bar. I'll wait it out. It's gonna give us a blue arrow on a down close of this bar. It was my mistake, so I am just gonna deal with it. If it does give us a down close, it's gonna give us a blue arrow, and then I'll have a good entry. But right now, I could minimize my risk on this since it's not a valid trade from where it is. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna give us the blue arrow right now. If it closes up, then it blows all my theories and it's a bad trade and it was my fault. I should have gotten out with -10 instead of -20, but I've accepted the risk, even though it was wrong. And nope, it's closing up. It's going to stop me out. So that was a mistake on my part. The reason it was a mistake is because we weren't coming out of the overbought. Okay, it hit the black line and we were not in the overbought. If it didn't hit the black line, that would have been a valid trade. But because it hit the black line, it was not a valid trade. See over here on the YM right now, the final bar is not painting yet. Here it is. Okay, so it's almost up to the ribbon there. We are in the overbought. It's going to give us a black arrow. If it down closes right now and pulls onto the overbought, that would not be any good. There's the green arrow that I was looking for earlier. Now this green arrow pullback is pretty deep. I went over that a little bit this morning in the room. And what I was pointing out in the room this morning was this. And I think I pointed it out in here before too. This, you know, most people, when they draw triangles, when they're trading, they're talking about acute triangles, not right triangles. Okay, that's a right angle. The acute triangles are the ones that people are normally talking about, where they have higher highs and lower lows. I mean, lower highs and higher lows, and they come to a point like this, and it's less than 90 degrees, and they wait for price to break out of there. But what I was doing this morning, using this kind of a triangle, a right triangle, showing when price pulls back above the midpoint in the hypotenuse of that triangle, it loses a lot of momentum. Okay, and so a lot of times that's going to be the green arrow, and those green arrows, they've lost a lot of momentum. Okay, and it's a valid trade. It hasn't gone 8 ticks into profit yet. It's got to hit 42. I mean, be able to bump the stop to break even. It's almost there. This is the trade I should have waited for a minute ago, though. It's almost there. It's got to go one more tick. You would have just hit it by now. It ended up being a break even anyway. It's just something in my brain that says, wait for that final tick. Wait for that final tick. Anyway. What time is it? It's 1:17. I have 13 minutes left in here. So we don't have a ton of trades. That stop out was my mistake. That was an error. I probably should have gotten onto that as soon as I saw it was a mistake. That's probably something that you guys, the newer people, might want to know. What if you get into a trade by accident? What do? You really should just get out of it. right away. When you realize it's not the trade you meant to take, just get out of it. And I had a chance to get out of that with very little stop loss. But I thought I knew better, and clearly I did not. And that's what happens. You get punished. I ended up getting the green arrow here, but I ended up with a break even on that. Now that the green arrow has happened, it has to put in a lower swing before you can trade in that direction again. Okay. Now that the green arrow has happened, it has to put in a lower swing. I'm secretly killing it on the Russell today. You guys don't know. All right. So, go over to this computer one more time. Look something. I might not find it. Anyway. So we need this to put in a lower swing. We're in a no trade zone, no trade zone, no trade zone. You know what I haven't looked at is there was a huge thing yesterday on Ethereum. Let's go out here and look at Bitcoin today. Oops, Bitcoin today. Now I was saying, once you break up above this, remember I drew the curly Q thing in there? I said once you break up above this, there's going to be something that's going to push it, that's going to keep pushing it. That whole Ethereum thing yesterday that came out, something about it, ETFs or something like that. And it rose 17% yesterday is what I read. I don't know what it's doing today, but just being crypto advances, it could be the thing that pushes Bitcoin above the all-time high, which is right here, and pushes it up to what I think it's going to get up to is up there, 80,000. But let's look at Ethereum, ETH. So here was yesterday on the daily, and this is the all-time high right up here. Now, usually Ethereum trails Bitcoin. You can usually see what Ethereum is going to do because Bitcoin leads it. This time, though, this is the leader of the pack, and we'll see if Bitcoin follows it. I don't know volume-wise how much, how many holders, I guess, of Bitcoin or liquidity or whatever, however you want to look at it with crypto, how much there is in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. But I would think that this big move for anybody that's trading crypto, you might want them to jump in the game if they're on the sidelines. I don't know, but let's go look at that on something else here. We'll go here. I'm doing a webinar this afternoon, by the way, at 3 p.m. for this. If you want to go and see that webinar at 3 p.m., go here to targetviewtrades.com, and it's right here. Target View Trades register for it right there. Right, it's a bunch of people registered for it. I'm going to start promptly at 3 p.m. I'm not going to be late. I am not going to wait for people to show up. I'm just going to start because there were a bunch of people that are registered for it, and the last one ran over. But yeah, so I was going to look at, this is the TIQ context. We're out to the 6th one. Something's wrong here. Oh, this is why. This is what I was looking for. I want to look at Ethereum on this. ETH. And this is on a 5-minute chart. I kind of look at it on a 30-minute from yesterday. See if there was any indication. Yes, there was. Indication right here on the 20th of May at 11 o'clock to go long, right there. That indications all through here, but I want to see on a 5-minute if it's given any decent indications. I'm not really interested with crypto. I'm not interested in the short side of it. You know, I don't really know how to deal with the short side of it other than to sell it, but you know, close a long position. But I just wanted to see from today what kind of opportunities it gave, and it gave some pretty good ones today. On a day where I would expect a big sell-off. And this was yesterday, 6 a.m. It started it. Interesting. And Apple is something that was moving pretty good today. I believe it's on a 5-minute. I've got a couple of opportunities here on Apple, there and up to there. The SPY was another one I thought that was moving today. A little bit. Gave the long trade right here. It did move a little bit, but gave it all back. Interesting stuff. All right, back in here. It is 1:24. We only have 6 minutes left, so we don't have anything to trade in here. The markets are all just flat and no trade zones. I wish we had more opportunity, but we don't. But we do not.
We can wrap it up if you want to.
Yeah, I guess we can wrap it up. Well, let's just do that. We'll go over here with that. We'll say if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to the home page at mytradingiq.com. Click on purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. Just click on that purple button. It's going to bring it to this registration page. On this page, all that we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, if you have Ninja, give us machine ID. If you have TradingView, give us TradingView login ID. Hit the register button. When you hit that, you'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning, and we will be sent the information that you submitted so that we can get your indicators ready to indicate. Okay. All right. And that's it. With that, Dwayne, I can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. You are ready.
Kiddo.
Right.
Recap of the morning session.
Today it took 8 minutes and 3 trades to get to $1,700.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll take one last peek at the daily chart. And we've still got a nothing burger. Inside day. Step lines on the south side of blue and climbing, which indicates potentially lower prices. And we're still looking for a pullback to the BBC, which is now just above this swing right here. So it could be a fast and furious drop, or it could just slowly grind its way down. Not to say that something could push it to the upside, but we got a high, we got a lower high by 3 ticks right here yesterday. So path of least resistance at this point is to the downside. But you got to embrace all possibilities. To become a member, go to mytradingiq.com. If you have any questions, call 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. When you become a passport holder, you have access to 2 hours of live training every trading day. Plus, along with the group training, one-on-one private mentoring. The strategy that you learn the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. Price flows the same across all markets and all time frames. Support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again. It's a never-ending cycle. As a passport holder, you also receive the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, weekly trading zones. You're able to attend the members-only workshop on Thursday nights. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. MyTradingIQ.com. Good word for the day. Are you being sifted? Luke 22:31 and 32. Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. When Jesus told Peter, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat, it raises the question in our minds, Lord, did you have to say yes? A good sifting brings glory to God, such as when Job continued to praise his Maker when things seemed lost and even his wife was telling him to give up on God. It probes your weaknesses. When you're still thinking, I can, a swift sift will push you to say, I can't, but God can. It allows God to scrape away the distractions that could hinder you from fulfilling His purpose in your life. Peter's sifting would scrape away all his stomp and snort bluster, revealing a heart that's teachable and willing to welcome Cornelius and his Gentile clan into the family. Notice Jesus didn't say, get ready for a whirlwind of hurt, Peter. I know you're going to let me down. Instead, he pointed to the future. Peter would survive the sifting. He would return humbled but stronger and with a purpose to strengthen his brothers and sisters. The Lord said yes to the sifting in order to transform Peter from a leader who serves to a servant who leads. That's a significant shift from the thinking of men to the thinking of God. You may have days when you wonder if God is letting Satan sift you. You can take a God view of it, knowing He's always in control. Remember 1 John 4:4. Greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you, His mercy with His grace, and I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.